Hi Apple lovers and welcome to another episode of iWeekly. Join me every week as I dive into the latest Apple news, exciting rumours and in-depth insights straight from Cupertino. Whether you're a tech enthusiast, a loyal Apple fan or just curious about the future of technology, this series has you covered. This episode looks at the news from my trusted sources for the week commencing the 24th of November. Coming up, we have iOS 27 will reportedly have two key upgrades. iPhone 17 Pro Max running iPadOS 26 looks like. iPad mini with the OLED expected to arrive by the end of 2026. iPhone Air flop sparks industry retreat from the ultra-thin phones. 3 new MacBooks will launch next year. And Intel Foundries may be used for Apple's M7 processor next year. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to stay ahead of the curve and never miss an episode. New episodes every weekend. Turn on notifications for instant updates. And my 3 trusted sources are MacRumours.com, 9to5Mac.com and AppleInsider.com. Now let's get into the news. Okay, so first up, over on MacRumours.com on November 24th, iOS 27 will reportedly have 2 key upgrades. So for Mark Gurman, the Apple leaker extraordinaire, it should be more of an update where it focuses on quality and underlying performance. So obviously iOS 26 was a very changeable iOS and we got a new visual and a new system pretty much. So apparently this year it's going to look far more at the actual performance than adding anything extra. They will add extra stuff, but hopefully they can finally squash all the bugs. Then on 9to5Mac on Tuesday 25th of November, here's what iPhone 17 Pro Max running iPadOS 26 looks like. So somebody managed to install iPadOS due to a vulnerability in the system that has now been patched. So I doubt it will ever happen again. It doesn't look too dissimilar if we look at the video that's playing here. So you get the options for the multitasking Windows, here we go, look, and there it is. So that's really the only key difference is the multitasking. I think it looks great and I think they should totally bring that to the iPhone, but only on the larger models. I think you would struggle on just the normal iPhone 17. Anyway, good job. Then over at AppleInsider.com on Wednesday, November 26th, iPad mini with OLED expected to arrive by the end of 2026. So I love the iPad mini. It's one of the best form factors, but apparently there's an OLED one coming this year. Hopefully they will not up the cost and probably adding features and hardware or upgrading hardware to iPads. Now they've got their price point. They won't go any more expensive, just about bringing that technology down in price. I'm sure it won't be as good as the iPad Pro tandem OLED, but it should be a lot better. So here's fingers crossed. And they're back over on MacRumours.com on Thursday, November 27th. iPhone Air flop sparks industry retreat from the ultra-thin phone. So Apple did the usual thing and held off on doing an ultra-thin thing. They did it, and now apparently because sales have not been as expected or it's not as popular, the rest of the industry is thinking, okay, well, if Apple can't get sales out of it, who are we to do it? So apparently the whole industry is going to slow down on ultra-thin phones. I mean, I'm a fan of the ultra-thin iPad, but with a device in your hand, I know it is sturdy and they've proved it's sturdy. Doesn't appeal to me, and obviously it's not appealing to a lot of people. And then back over on 9to5Mac on Friday, November 28th. The start of the new year will see some new MacBooks. So you'll get the M5 MacBook Air. You'll get the Pro and the Max MacBook Pros. Obviously, we got the base model MacBook Pro with the M5. Apparently the next chips will come up for them. And then there's still talk of this lower cost 12.9-inch MacBook, which might use an A chip from a phone rather than an M chip. I think they're best off. I think they would still just put an M chip in it. But there's a lot going on along with this rumor, so I think we might actually see it. So let's see. And then lastly at AppleInsider.com on Friday 28th of November. Apparently the M7 chip, Apple will start working with Intel again. Interesting story there is obviously pre M1 chips. They were using Intel for all their chips. So now they might actually use their processing for the M7. Obviously, we have to wait a couple of years. That would be, yeah, probably 2027, maybe 28. But apparently they're going to start using Intel again. Now that's everything from this week's news, so please follow me on Instagram and Threads at TechHubWiltsUK. Check out my website at www.techhubwiltsuk.co.uk, and I'll see you on next week's news.